You're this perp back with another video, and I finally finished the doc of Chucky. This is a brand new documentary on Shudder. Um, Very similar to what Screenbox did with Living with Chucky, but what I had an issue with that is it didn't really go super in depth like this documentary did. It has a runtime of over 4 hours. It's like 4 hours and 45 minutes. So it's definitely, the Never Sleep version for Chucky. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it took me so long to fucking finish this, because I was watching this chunk by chunk, bit by bit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to sit there and watch the whole 4 hours and 45 minutes. Shout outs to anybody that did that, but I was really pleased with this documentary. Now, there are some things that kind of lost me. I was just kind of checked out, and I'll get into all that. But starting off with them going through the first movie, I feel like that takes up a really good chunk of the documentary, around like an hour and a half. Just talking about the drama and just the creation of Chucky, expanding on things that you've seen in like Living with Chucky, but it's kind of like an extended version of that. And I really appreciate that, because it's interesting to kind of see the inception of the Chucky doll, and just the drama between Dom and Tom Holland. Dom is definitely super petty when it came to that. He really just didn't like Tom Holland. For some odd reason, they have beef, or just, I don't know. It was really weird, but just going from that to Child's Play 2 and 3, I was super locked in and engaged. But then you could definitely see where things started to get kind of kooky and a little too over the top with this series, which a lot of those aspects, like the Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky aspects of the franchise, that gets more highlighted as you get to like the Chucky series. People could be a fan of that, and then I could definitely see people not being a fan of it. It has nothing to do with the subject matter that that gets brought up in Seed of Chucky, as far as like the whole trans gay shit. It's just a very weak entry to the entire franchise as far as the movie goes. And it's interesting how they went into depth just talking about the ups and downs, the failures of certain movies, like Dom really not liking Child's Play 3, or not liking Child's Play 3, but just his kind of displeasures with that movie and creating that. Very interesting, very honest kind of critiques throughout. That's what I kind of like to see, even though some of them are a little biased, like when they start talking about Seed and try to kind of little cap for that. But I understand and I respect Dom just trying to do whatever the fuck he wants with the character of Chucky. Seeing the different actors they got, and and how that came to be, just even coming across Jennifer Tilly, just everything that you would want out of a Chucky documentary, they put into this. It's very detailed, even though you could tell with the last couple of movies, like talking about like Cursed and Cult of Chucky, those have like the shorter kind of explanations. Even though I think Cursed was really interesting, because I think Dom was kind of like ahead of his time when it comes to these requels. We just didn't call them requels when Curse of Chucky was coming out. So that's really fascinating that he pretty much kind of started that. I could be wrong, but I feel like he kind of semi-started the whole requel thing. It just became bigger amongst like the bigger IPs that get released in theaters and whatnot. But like I said, I really enjoyed the first half of this, just talking about Child's Play 1 through 3. And it just really I started to really doze off and just kind of lose interest. It just became a chore to kind of get through the whole Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky stuff. It just that's where you could just tell things were getting weird with this series. And like I said, some people might really enjoy that, especially in the Chucky series, where they go completely off the rails in that series. And why I feel like Chucky definitely needs a reboot once again, just to kind of reset things, make him scary again, make him more intimidating. Because I feel like, even though I get it from a creator's creative standpoint, you want to do something different, refreshing with the characters, but they've mentioned it a couple times throughout this documentary that as these sequels kind of keep going, it becomes less and less special. Like, Chucky he kind of loses that scary edge about him. You know what I'm saying? And I think Chucky needs to kind of go back to basics after watching this whole documentary. Like I said, I think it's a really well done documentary. Gives you a lot of information. I would have loved to see the original cut for the original Child's Play, because I feel like a lot more effort went into that. I feel like that's still the standard when it comes to Chucky movies. And even the animatronic stuff was really interesting, and why the models of the dolls look weird once we get to like Cursed, and especially Cults, because they definitely do look weird. They had to kind of start from scratch. That whole technology stuff is really interesting as well. Even seeing some of the makeup designs of some of the kills and how they went about doing that. This is what I really like about this documentary, though, as a whole. Even though I have my issues with it, it just goes in depth of the behind the scenes process. And I hope more horror franchises do this, because I would love to see like a real deep dive on Halloween, a real deep dive on the Friday the 13th movies. But yeah, I would definitely recommend checking this out if you're a huge Chucky fan. It's very informational. If you do get around to checking this out, let me know your thoughts of it. What were some of your favorite parts? Did you like just the first 3 segments, just talking about Child's Play 1 through 3 like me? Or did you actually like hearing more information about the Bride of Chucky and how they had these dolls having sex and stuff? That shit just got really weird. I understand, like, Dom is a really weird guy, but it is what it is. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though, in the comments below. Till next time, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.